Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your number one stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Camilo Villegas grabs his first win since 2014. A couple of new golf clubs find its way onto the USGA conformity list, and we are going to break down the comparisons between golfers and NBA superstars. That's Ben Pirro. I'm Steve McAvoy, right here on the Get in the Hole podcast, brought to you by PHI Apparel Co., bringing you all of the gear that you need for the Sixers, the Eagles, the Flyers, and so on. Of course, us over at Get in the Hole. Just bought myself two hoodies, buy one, get one half, following Tyrese Maxey's 50 spot he put up the other day. So go to phiapparel.co, use the code MAXEY50 for 50% off. And then Underground, UNDERGOUND, Matt spelling's hard, for an additional 10% off your order at phiapparel.co. Ben, we lead off with the man, the myth, and the relatively off-kiltered legend, Camilo Villegas, earning his first PGA Tour victory since the Wyndham Championship in 2014. Jumps all the way to 75th in the FedEx Fall standings. We'll let you know what that means in a hot second. How important is it for somebody at this point in his life? He's 41 years old, hasn't won since he was 33, 34 years old. How big is that for your mojo, particularly going into the final event of the year and then swinging your way into the full-on season come January?
I think it's huge. His career's been interesting because everything I heard. So he played at University of Florida, and everything what I remember hearing about him as a collegiate player was doesn't hit it very good, doesn't hit it very far, but has an amazing short game. And then he ended up winning the BMW Championship, the Tour Championship, at both of those in 2008 back to back. So he almost won the FedEx Cup. Mm-hmm. That was when they had a different type of points system. And then 2010, he won the Honda. And then, he just started like kind of like a steady decline in his overall play. He ended up losing his card in 2012, had to go back to Q school and didn't get his card back. And then really he was playing better. And then he just kind of won out of nowhere in 2014. Mm-hmm. And he's always been an incredibly talented golfer, very well respected, beloved by players on tour, by the media, just an all-around good guy. But it's interesting, for as good of a putter and as good as he was with his short game around the greens and on the greens in college as he was, it was as if his career kind of flip-flopped, and he actually became a not-so-good putter. He was really well known for his ball striking for a while, but he didn't make a lot of putts. And it's great to see him. It's hard to find a player on tour who wins in their 40s, whether it's their first or, in his case, fifth or whatever. But I think it just points, a lot of this points to his ability to slow he's aged much more slowly than most golfers do. And a lot of that has to do with how he takes care of his body. I mean, he's one of the fittest guys on tour. I mean, like, I cannot imagine what that guy's body fat percentage is. Like, he is ripped, and he takes incredibly good care of himself. He is a great husband, a great father. I've only heard just glowing remarks about him. When you take care of yourself, when you work really hard and you're a good person, good things are going to happen. That's exactly what happened. I mean, it's fantastic. This is fantastic for his career. I mean, this buys him 2 more years on the PGA Tour at minimum, because, you win, you get a 2-year exemption. I mean, good for him. He's persevered through some pretty tough times. He had a daughter at 21 months who I believe she had cancer and she passed away. And so he had to overcome a lot. And it's obviously very, very difficult to overcome something like that, regardless of the age. Whether if you're dealing with a death as a teenager or as a parent, that's always hard to overcome. And he's done an admirable job in overcoming some pretty difficult times. And I'm rambling, but I'm so proud of him because he's always been one of my favorite guys on tour. He's just a good guy. You can't help but root for a good guy like that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm just saying, I think he finished tied for second at Sea Island probably 4 or 5 years ago. So
I'll have to fact check you on that one, but
I believe he lost in a 5-way playoff. But great guy, has overcome a lot, and everyone should be a fan of him because he's awesome.
First of all, you are spot on. It wasn't 5 years ago. It was 2016.
Oh, I was gonna say, let me guess the year.
Wait, here. Give me one better. Could you name the 4 guys he was in a playoff with? 5-way playoff. There was him and Billy 4 others. 2 Billy Americans, a Canadian, and a Swede.
Billy Horschel.
All right, there you go. Mm-hmm. If you nail these, I'm gonna go be fucking nuts. I'm gonna go nuts.
Kevin Kisner.
No.
What? No way.
Kevin Kisner was in the 5-way playoff when he won the Wyndham like 2 years ago. But wasn't that another American who I've never even heard of in my entire life?
Oh, God.
And then a Canadian and a Swede who were both relevant. The Canadians should be relatively easy because amongst the 7 or 8 top Canadians, one has been playing for the longest, like by a significant margin.
Corey Connors?
No.
I don't know.
It's Mackenzie Hughes. The Swede was Henrik Norlander, and Blaine Barber. Blaine Barber was the other American. Hughes won, I think, like third extra hole, and Villegas was eliminated after the first. 2016 RSM Classic. But you bring up the point that I wanted to get to, which is really his recent decline. So as Ben had alluded to, his 22-month-old daughter, her name was Mia, passed away from, I think she had like brain tumors, and like this literally brought him to the point of, I'm ready to quit golf, focus on my family, because I don't know how many other kids he had, but wanted to focus in on his own life and his family.
At the time, I don't think he had any.
Yeah, so he wanted to focus on his family. Wife said, no, get back into golf. It's your safe space. It's your coping mechanism. He had lost his tour card at that point, got back on the Corn Ferry Tour. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. The wife coming up clutch with the Penny vodka. Got back into the game about a month and a half later, got back on the Corn Ferry Tour, won a couple of events, earned his tour card back, and again, battled for the last 2 years to get to where he is now, to the point that he had to fight for the fight now in the fall swing. And this win was so significant. If you remember from a couple of years ago, a bunch of players on tour were wearing like rainbow pins on their caps. That was from Camilo Villegas' daughter. Had a huge affinity for rainbows. Everyone started wearing them. Some guys still wear them to this day in honor of her. So a really great turnaround for someone like him, somebody who's been battling, like you had said, literally his entire career, had a lot of hype coming out of college and just simply couldn't get up to it. Meanwhile, when you look at his five tournament win like outlook, he won the Tour Championship, won the BMW 2 playoff events in his first 2 wins. Pretty damn impressive, particularly when you could beat out Sergio Garcia at his peak back in 2008. The Honda, can you tell me who he beat in that tournament? He won by 5 strokes on the final day. It was him and this legend, quote unquote legend.
Well, Anthony Kim finished tied for second.
Anthony Kim is who I'm alluding to, the mysterious where did he go guy. But yeah, no, so amazing job for Camilo. Really happy for him. Again, vaulted him to 75th in the FedEx Fall. for those of you who haven't really been following on too heavily, of course, with the PGA schedule jumping from the fall swing included, now it's only a January through September schedule, which makes the fall the place where everybody who didn't finish top 50 is now going to fight for their tour card, fight for the opportunity to compete in the signature events. From 51 to 60, they will qualify for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am and the Genesis Invitational. From 61 all the way to 125, they earn or retain their PGA Tour card. Those from 126 down to 150 are conditional status, and then everyone from 150 down loses it. Villegas jumps from 171 all the way up to 75, so he will lock in. Also earns his spot in the RSM Classic this week with the opportunity to break into the top 61, and we could very well see him play at Pebble and Genesis come a few months from now. With that being said, though, the chopping block is now kind of in that focus, the focal point of this week, the final event of the fall swing. As we hit the Thanksgiving break and eventually December, the RSM Classic is not only a event for someone in the fall to earn their keep when it comes to the Century, to majors. It's also an opportunity for guys to earn back their card with the fall swing intact. I want to give you a couple of names. I want you to give me three guys who's on the chopping block, whether or not it be earning their card, earning their spot into signature events, whatever it may be. But a couple of the old guys that we're probably not going to see because most of them aren't teeing it up. Stuart Sink, Luke Donald, Zach Johnson. Very ironic that both Ryder Cup captains will ultimately be kind of falling off. Then again, they're in their older stages of life anyhow. Long Island legend Patrick Harrington, who I didn't realize his swing coach is the head pro at Rock Hill Country Club.
Wait.
Didn't know that.
These guys are playing, correct?
They're not playing this week. So they're going to wind up losing their tour cards. They're all off. I think a few might be teeing it up this week. I think Stuart Sink is, but most of them are pretty much far off.
I'm sure Zach Johnson is. He always plays. He lives there. I'll
have to double check on that one. Harrington, Francisco Molinari, Kevin Kisner, who is playing this week, and Rory Sabatini. I want to let you start here. Who are three guys that are on the block, are in the gray zone when it comes to maintaining their card, earning conditional status, whatever it may be, that you are interested in seeing whether or not some of them aren't even teeing it up this week. They kind of already have called it quits. Shout out to Justin Thomas in that regard. But who do you have on the block that you're looking forward to seeing this week in particular? Most of the guys who are in the gray zone are teeing it up.
For those guys, there's a couple interesting ones. Cameron Champ is an interesting one. I believe he's 135 on the list. Mm-hmm. It's weird, I would have never thought he would ever be in danger of losing his card. Like you wouldn't think that that's the case.
Yeah.
So Cameron Champ, he's definitely one. Doc Redman. Is another guy. I know he's outside the top 50, so I know that's kind of like outside of what you were talking about, but I believe he went to Clemson, and there was a lot of hype around him, and I actually had a teammate of mine who is very good friends with him and incredibly talented golfer. It's also kind of surprising to see that. And honestly, I mean, I'll throw Zach Johnson in there. I believe he would be playing this week. He's had such a long, successful career, and not so much on the mini tour circuit. He honestly had pretty middling success. Heard about his mini tour career, but for a guy who wasn't always the most physically gifted, he was definitely one of the most competitive and driven golfers you'd see. And he's always such a positive person. It just shows that, Father Time is undefeated, because he's honestly had kind of a nondescript last 2, 3, 4 years. And it's weird. It's weird that I just said those three guys because it was just like you thought, Zach has been a mainstay on tour, but you never think that any three of those guys would lose their card, because they're all so talented in their own individual aspects. So, yeah.
There's a handful of guys that are like right on the bubble. One of which is my top 20 pick from last week, Kelly Craft, who's at I think like 157 right now.
Yeah.
Again, like the guys that are on the bubble, you look at like Doc Redman, Kelly Craft, Cameron Percy, Vince Whaley, who has actually played some pretty inspiring golf over the last 2 months. That I know what we're talking about is like right there on the line. Jason Duffner, a lot of the familiar names from the mid 2010s, Ryan Armour, Ryan Brem, like these are guys who are mainstays. Even Dylan Fratelli in his middle age at this point, Lonzo Griffin, all these guys are kind of on the back end, on the outside looking in. I want to focus though on the guys that are in that like conditional status field, so anywhere from 126 to 150. And this is really where things get interesting because obviously conditional tour status versus actually having your tour card are two very different things. And there are a handful of guys that I find really interesting in this area. Aaron Wise, who's actually kind of more so on the back end looking out than he is looking in. He's only at 143. Aaron Wise, about 6 months ago, was a top 50 golfer in the world, and all of a sudden kind of just fell off a cliff and no one even heard from him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was kidnapped by the cartel or something, but something happened in the last 5 months that he's randomly found himself in a hole where he might very well be on the Korn Ferry Tour after only a 4-year stay on the PGA Tour. Lucas Herbert right next to him, Trey Mullinax, who, as you know, had a great climb from almost losing his golf career as a whole, found his way back on tour. He's 141. Scott Piercy, Kramer Hickok, who's also been a secondary tier event player constantly. You see him a lot in Bermuda, in Mexico, at Verdanta. But my one guy who I'm the most concerned with is Maverick McNealy, because I remember, again, a year ago was a top 20 machine, and I'd be taking him every single week.
Right.
What happened to Maverick McNealy that's gotten him at 127? Granted, he's literally a make the cut away from maintaining his card, but something for me to keep an eye on. And of course, Harry Higgs, who has really, it's kind of been sad actually, to see how much he's fallen off since losing his tour card late last year, and has been trying to battle back. You've seen him play almost every single event he can, but something just doesn't seem to be syncing up with his golf game. I don't know if it's the long game or the short game. I have to dig deeper in the numbers, but something hasn't clicked there. And he's currently 145th again on the close to outside looking in.
Well, I want to look up Harry Higgs because I felt. Let me see. I felt like he had a lot of hype, and I just honestly do not believe it was warranted.
Well,
and just not to be like blunt.
No. I mean, honestly, he's more well known for taking his shirt off.
Like
on 17 at the waist. But
let me see.
So,
like, I'm just gonna run through real quick. Like, okay, like his first year he had a runner-up, but he also missed 9 cuts. His second year, he had another runner-up, but he missed more cuts than he made. His third year, he struggled. He missed 17 cuts out of 30 events.
Oh,
and then this past year, played 2022, 2023, played 30 events, missed 18 cuts. I mean, look, he's had good finishes, I mean, look, like he hasn't been a disaster, so as a rookie, he finished 55th in the FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
Second year, 66th. Third year, 147. Fourth year, 132. So, look, it's not like he's not a very consistent golfer. And to be honest, I don't really think the hype ever was warranted with him. He's really more well known for taking his shirt off at a PGA Tour event, which if I did that, I'd be labeled as a douche, but whatever. So
I think it's a persona thing. Like Harry Higgs is just like, he's, first of all, he kind of looks like me, which whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, He doesn't like shirt buttons.
Okay.
But he wears Grayson, which like almost seems like the douchebag brand. Not to be a anti-brand guy, but I like the guys who wear Grayson. I don't think are I don't know. They don't scream. They scream too posh and preppy for me.
Grayson? What you said, Grayson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Grayson. I already told you that. So, whatever.
Well, your best friend James Nicholas wears Grayson.
I love James. He's great.
But yeah, so when it comes to like the rattling off of names here, like you're right, there are a handful of names that are on the outside looking in. I'm kind of surprised with where they're at. Then of course you have the guys who are actually on the really good side of things, actually are pushing towards getting those exemptions. Mark Hubbard, Thomas Dietrich, Alex Noren, EVR, our friend with the mustache, and Keith Mitchell are all guys up there. Justin Suh, even Ludwig Aberg, a big performance this week for Ludwig, for Akshay Bhatia. Very well could see them getting into those signature events, which would be great for the brand. We pushed though onto the conformity list of the USGA. We had mentioned last week that the Kirkland driver has made its way onto the scene. I very much will be demoing it when it comes to a local Costco near me.
God,
it's gonna be so funny when I do it, but we'll see. However, TaylorMade and Callaway also have a pair of new drivers that have made their way to the conformity list. No photos on Callaway yet, but the TaylorMade QI10, which will actually also be in the bag this week for Rory McIlroy at the DP World Tour Final at Jumeirah in Dubai. I want to ask you this: what's your opinion on companies like TaylorMade and Callaway constantly putting out a brand new driver every single year, as opposed to Titleist and Ping? I know put theirs out every 3 years, I believe, 2 or 3 years. They enjoy separating it. Do you think it's more of an OEM just pushing out new stuff to try and reinvigorate their market share, or is there actual like reason to believe, the Paradigm versus the Rogue versus whatever Callaway is going to put out now is so significantly better than its previous iteration?
I think I thought it was every club company came out with something new every 2 years. That's what
I was surprised to actually find that out too. It's Callaway, TaylorMade, and Mizuno put something out every single year. Ping is like every 2 to 3. Titleist hasn't put out a new driver prior to its latest iteration in like 4 years. And Strixon usually doesn't put out every year.
I don't think Mizuno does, because their irons come out every 2 years.
Then I'm wrong then.
I only know that because I play one of their sets. I play the 921s because they came out in 2021, and then this year the 923s came out because they came out in 2023. So then the 925s will come out in 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's these club companies make so much money. Like, if we're being honest, like they make so much money, and they understand that most golfers who are not very good think it's the club that's the problem. I can't take credit for this, but someone said to me, if you had a club fitter who was charging you for a fitting on the range, and then on the other end of the range, you had a pro, a licensed PGA professional giving you free advice, everyone would still go get fit for new clubs, and they would pay for the club fitting, and then they'd pay. These golf companies, they're not stupid. They're like, oh, these consumers, they're not well informed. So they just, they think it's the club that's the problem. So yeah, we're just going to like come out with new products I truly believe that's really what it is,
Yeah.
And then of course, like when you have guys who, like, let's face it, guys who use these clubs who are really good, it really helps.
Yeah.
Makes the club brand more marketable. So I
think it's funny.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by it. I think it's interesting. Like, for me, I play the equipment that I play for as long as I can, because there's a sense of comfort and a sense of familiarity. Like, I literally will play my woods until they break. Literally, that's what happened. My 3-wood broke, had to get a new 3-wood, and I got the Stealth, or the Stealth 2, whatever it is. And then my driver broke the next day, so I had to get a new driver, and then I got the Paradigm. So everybody's different. Like, I remember when Tiger, like back when Nike was still a thing with making golf clubs and everything. I mean, Tiger was using irons like that were several irons and woods that were several models old.
Yeah.
No. Now look, it's Tiger Woods, so they were obviously making him his shit. They're like, we'll continue to make it for you because you're our guy, right? But it says a lot that the greatest of all time was like, no, I like what I play. I know what I play. And this is what I'm going to do, And so it just depends on the person. But for me personally, I like familiarity. That's what I like.
I think it's funny because we see it all the time nowadays. I think Jon Rahm, prior to the Paradigm, he didn't play a Rogue. He never played a Maverick. I think he played a Callaway Epic for like 4 years.
He played it for a long time, I think. Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, like, why aren't you using the latest iteration? And he goes, they're not good clubs.
Well, like,
and he caught so much heat for that. But like at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to go over here, but like the idea that like guys are constantly switching up their game. Colin Morikawa, I don't think has even used the stuff. He's still using a Sim 2, I think, for all these years. And then even like in the putting game, right? Literally any club it's across the board. Ricky Fowler and Wyndham Clark won with this Jailbird putter. I think came out in 2017. There was a total bust and a flop in the market. All of a sudden, you throw a full 1/4-inch slab of weight on it, and all of a sudden it's winning tournaments, and it wins 3 straight tournaments, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, what is this club?" Yeah, they re-released it because 2 guys were like, "Let's go deep in the archives because my putting sucks.
Yeah,
let's find something totally random to utilize." So like this happens all the time. I think it's kind of BS though that like you have companies like TaylorMade and Callaway that are constantly pushing out new stuff, because like even the reviews for the Stealth were not nearly as good as the Sim and the Sim 2 previously. The Callaway's though has been different because the Maverick didn't get great reviews, but the Epic, the Rogue, and the Paradigm have all been like flying colors. Everyone's loved it. So I think like in those regards, it depends on if you're putting out a product every single year that's getting better and better and better. But this QI10, according to what the conformity list says, it's literally the exact same spec as the Stealth, with just a new design and a new like balance weight.
Yeah, like it's I find it interesting. Like, I don't know. I do believe that there are certain. I think what happens is people are drawn to like the new just like the shiny new toys, like because it's brand new, right? Like, I mean, if you went car shopping, would you want a 2017 Maserati or would you want a 2023 Maserati? Which one would you want? Well,
but alternatively, would you rather have the 1954 Chevy or the 2020 Chevy? Like, it's
okay, yeah. No one's gonna want a golf club from 1954, dude. Okay,
I still use my grandpa's putter from 1987. So shut your mouth.
Unless they're like drunk. Like, but what I'm saying is
Persimmon Woods. We'll game those.
Yeah, seriously. What I'm saying is like, when my driver broke, because I used the TaylorMade M3 for a long time, and I had 2 heads. I had 2 different M3 heads, and I remember when the M3 broke, they had like the Sim 2, the Sim or the Sim 2. I tried the Sim 2 or the Sim, and I hated it.
Really?
I was like, no way. I was like, this thing feels terrible. It goes straight up in the air. Like, I don't know. I don't like the sound. And then I went to Callaway and I was like, wow, I really like this Epic Speed. That's what I was hitting. Mm-hmm. And then the Epic Speed breaks. And so I had to and then I tried the Stealth. Now, I had just gotten a Stealth 3 wood, and this thing flies 288 in the air. Okay, it is a weapon. I'm hitting this Stealth on the range on TrackMan, and I can't get it to go. And I'm trying like all these different shaft combinations, and we're fucking around with like the loft and everything. My balls, and everybody's like, "Well, TaylorMade's like that's what like the longest guys on tour hit." My ball speed was faster with the Paradigm than it was with the Stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hilarious. Like so, I don't know. I think people are so concerned with. And these golf companies, they're geniuses because they know people are concerned about what they play. They're not concerned about their swings, which is really what they should be concerned about, Yeah. So, but anyway, we've spent so much time on this.
Personal story. I remember my first driver, again, like when I first got into golf, I used all my grandpa's like old clubs because I was like just getting in. I had a 2003 Big Bertha Hawkeye. It was like a small mini like driver head. And I was using that, and it wasn't really like doing me any good. I bought a Cobra King Speed Zone.
Oh yeah,
I've been using that like ever since. I've been using it since like 2020. But I thought I had a problem because I thought I blamed the club for op it. Then all of a sudden I got a free bit of advice from a friend of mine, and I was like, shit. Now I'm actually like hitting it straight. It's the Indian, not the arrow, unless you're playing those like square driver heads. Which I don't know what the fuck people were thinking of creating those things.
Was that like the Nike Sumo from like 2008?
Yeah, they had one of those. They also had there's like an F something. A friend of mine who I got into golf senior year of college like sported a square driver head, and I used to hit it, and it literally sounded like a tin can.
Oh, it's awful. I mean, Nike was
so
crap.
bad.
Nike was crap for like the longest time.
Oh yeah. And the Vapors were the only like bright side of their club space.
I ended up using some VR irons, and that's what I ended up getting recruited using. I mean, I hit those so well. They were amazing irons. And then I had like whatever the blue driver and 3-wood and hybrid heads were. That's what I ended up using. And then
that's the Vapors, I think.
Yeah, and then I started to like phase them out because they stopped making clubs. But yeah.
The Callaway FTI square driver head.
I remember this. Yeah, a long time ago.
And then the Nike Sumo was the other one. It was yellow. The FT1 came in this ugly maroon color with like a chrome and black finish, and then the SQ1 was the bright yellow driver from Nike. Never will I would love to grab one of those for like $20 just to like see what it's like again. But my God, what an ugly idea for a square golf head. Never again. We're going to take a short break. On the other side, we're going to go over some fun ranking skills. We're going to pretty much a light news day, a light news week, should I say. We're going to get into some fun debates, talk about the upcoming RSM Classic, and of course, give you our picks for beer money this week. Don't go anywhere to get in the whole podcast. We will be right back.
Of course, Underground Sports Philadelphia is brought to you by our awesome merch partners, PHI Apparel Company, with their unique and awesome designs for all, from Philly sports teams to Underground Sports Philadelphia exclusive merch. There's no doubt in our minds you'll stand out in the crowd. From Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Union, and like I mentioned, Underground Sports Philadelphia, PHI Apparel Company's got you covered to stand out at Lincoln Financial Field, at the ballpark at Citizens Bank Park, at the Wells Fargo Center for Sixers, Flyers, Wings, at Subaru Park, at the bar, hanging out with your friends and family, no matter what it may be. PHI Apparel Company's got you covered with the best unique designs in the merch game for your favorite Philly sports fans. Most comfortable shirts, most comfortable hoodies in the game. Go to phiapparel.co so you can stand out in the crowd. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders. It's the most effective and direct way to support our podcasts. If you want to support us, rep our merch, get the word out there, rep PHI Apparel Company. And when you get your merch, tag us on the socials. We'll repost it so we know where you're rocking your PHI Apparel Company merch from. That's phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders.
Welcome back in to Get in the Hole. Ben and Steve here with you on another great week on the PGA Tour. For those of you who are tuning in, tomorrow on Tuesday, as you record on this Monday, F1 meets the PGA Tour in Netflix's first live special. I don't even know what it's called. I believe it's like the whatever it is, the golf tournament. Very excited to tune into that. I know nothing about F1. All I know is that Ricky Fowler and Colin Morikawa are my guys for the tournament. Tune into that one on Netflix and join us on the Underground Sports YouTube to check that one out, along with a collab with our friends over at F1 Underground and Streamer Season. We jump into a fun little debate chat. I want to ask you some questions about the game of golf. You give me your opinion, agree, disagree. We're doing it for the content. I want to start with this because we're starting to get to that point in the Northeast. When is it too cold to golf? I got asked to play last week with John, and it was 60 degrees in New York on like a Tuesday. I'm like, I'll take PTO. I'll go play Southampton. We'll go have fun. He goes, oh, can't do Tuesday. I can do tomorrow. I can do Wednesday. It went from 60 to like 35 degrees, 40 degrees. I'm like, I'm not fucking playing at 40 degrees, 40 degree weather. What is like the coldest temperature that you would like go golfing?
It all depends on the wind. If it's windy, it makes it feel much colder. 35 degrees. That's because it's right above freezing because the freezing's 32.
Very good. What's the boiling point of water?
102?
I'm Googling it because I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think it's 102.
212.
212?
212.
Oh, fuck. I was way off.
Wait, you said 102 degrees. The water in Arizona will be boiling all the time.
Well, water takes longer to warm up, dummy.
I mean, yes. A watched pot never boils. Just know that.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'd say 35 degrees. I've competed in the 30s before, for sure. And actually, I have a funny story. So when I was a sophomore at Presbyterian, we were tentatively scheduled to have practice this next morning. And the weather was like, and our coach was like, if it's super cold, we won't practice, whatever. And he's like, I'll let you guys know by 9:30. Well, he doesn't let us know. It's like 9:30. And I was like, I texted in our group chat. I was like, what are we doing? And he goes, we're having practice. And everyone's like, there's no way we're having practice. Like, there's no way. Like, because we had our own separate players only chat. And we were like, there's no way. It was 26 degrees. I remember it vividly because I took a screenshot. And I was like, and I'm texting my teammates. He's like, oh, no, like, yeah, it's not that bad out. Like, we're gonna practice. He's like, get here at this time. And so I took the screenshot of the Apple weather thing, and I was like, it's 26 degrees. He goes, it's not that bad. So we get there, and it's like pretty cold, obviously. And we're all layered up. And then he goes, okay, come with me to the 9th green. So we start, and everybody's super pissed off that we're there because it's a Saturday morning. We make the turn around this clubhouse, and when you get hit with like cold air, and it just, like shakes you to your core, like you feel it inside you. That's what we got hit with, and we were like, "Oh my god!" And then we start walking on the 9th green, and he goes, stop walking on the green because it's frost, and when you step on frost, grass that's frost, it kills the grass. And so my one teammate goes, why? Because it's fucking frozen. We were so pissed off. We ended up playing cross-country golf, which is, I will admit, it was a lot of fun for sure. I did have the longest drive in the first hole, I will say. And then I kind of challenged one of my teammates, and he literally chunked his tee shot in the water with his driver. Like he fucking laid sod over it. It ended up, it ended up being fun, but we were all super pissed off. So 26 degrees, that's the coldest I've ever played in. But I'd say my limit really is like 35. That's my limit.
John and I played Willow Creek. It was December.
Ew.
They were like, we'll let you on the golf course for $35 plus the cart. And I said, deal. It was like 28 degrees. I had the space heater like on the golf cart. I stole it from my grandpa, and we're driving around. I'm like trying to heat up. I have the glove, like not gloves, but the hand like holder with the heat pads. By the 9th hole, I was like, my face was like frozen. I was like, I cannot do this like whatsoever. The wind was so bad. On the 7th, hold on, wait. We get to 17 and wind in our face, like 15 miles per hour. I hit my driver shot. I'm like, I quit. And I was like, what? Just like, I'm done. I didn't even shake. I striped it, but like the wind was coming in, southeasterly, and I hit it, and it literally goes up, slices a little bit, comes back, and lands in the pond about 100 yards ahead of me. And I'm like, I striped this thing, and the wind just blew the ball completely backwards. It like dead stopped. I was like, what the fuck happened? We quit. I said, I'm totally done with this. All right. Rank these blindly. The worst breaks on a golf course. You have 1 through 5. We start with this. Stuck behind the slowest group on the course.
Oh, one. Well, oh, so we're doing an individual thing, and I'm saying
yes. All right. Yeah. Okay. So rank these things blindly. The worst breaks on the golf course. Stuck behind the slowest group on the course. You don't know what's coming next, so choose wisely.
I'd say that's a 2 because pro golf is always really slow. And so honestly, whenever I'm waiting on a group in front of me, like when I'm playing by myself or like with another person, when it's not a tournament, they try to let me through, I always say like, no, it's fine. Honestly, because it's my way of like preparing myself to have to deal with the 5.5-hour rounds that are pro golf. So that doesn't really bother me.
Hypothetical, rangefinder dies or you forget your green reading books at home.
Oh, rangefinder for sure. For sure. Like wait, real quick. 1 being like the least annoying, right? And then 5 being the most annoying?
No, 1 being the most annoying, 5 being the least.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Okay, I'll say 4 for the
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
You're good. All right, so rangefinder dying, where do you rank that?
Oh God, rangefinder dying. That's got to be a 2. That's got to be at 2. Like I remember when I had first turned pro, I was like 2 months in, and I was going up to play the Ocala Open. And on the very first hole, the day before I left, I'd already played a practice round, so I was driving up the night before, and I had an 8 a.m. tee time that next day for the first round. First hole at my home course, rangefinder dies. I was like, all right, whatever. Like I'll just go to a CVS and get another like battery. Play the round, pacing everything off. I hold out for an eagle actually with a pitching wedge on like my 13th hole. Go to a CVS, get a new battery, put the new battery in. The rangefinder gets like really hot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so I try another battery and the same thing happened. I was like, and it's like not even like clicking on. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I talked to my dad. I was like, Dad, like, I think he's like, yeah, like it's your Ranger is like 4 years old. Like go to Dick's and like
fried the battery.
Dude, Dick's, I think it closed at like 9. I walked in there at like 8:45. And like the night before the first round of the Ocala Open, and I had to get a new rangefinder. It was awful. It was terrible. So yeah, I'd say that's 2.
Okay. Fried egg in the bunker.
That sucks. That blows. It's all situational though, because like if it's like fried like on an upslope, like you can hit it as hard as you want. But if it's like in the bottom and you're like hitting to a front pin and the green slopes away from you, you're so fucked. Like, same time, it's what you get for hitting it in the bunker. I'd say 3.
Ball stuck in a tree.
That's a 1. That's a 1 because you can't even hit it. You can't even hit it. You can't even hit it.
Hey, there have been guys who have climbed the fucking tree to try and poke it out.
Yeah, and I tried to climb the tree. I ended up breaking a branch by accident. It would end up happening.
I mean, hey, whatever you got to do. Final one, aerated greens. You're putting that at 5?
5. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, it's annoying. I guess in theory, that would be more like 4, because I didn't know. But yeah, for this exercise, I'll say 5. I mean, the greens in mini tour events generally suck anyways, so it's just like whatever.
All right, next ranking, best sound on the golf course. We start with the classic smash driver, just like an absolute frozen piss missile rope.
Oh, like you hit a good one? Not that you're mad. Okay, you hit a good one. Honestly, I'd say 3.
All right, interesting. Putt drops in the cup.
4.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. You hole out like a 30-footer. You hear the clank of the cup. That's like amazing.
I don't know. I don't really hear it. I don't know. I don't really hear it.
This is a fun one. The sound of the engine of the cart girl approaching your feet. It's so specific.
What did I say? 3 and 4? I'd say 2. Yeah, 2.
Angry golfer throws his putter in the pond.
I've never seen that one before. It's not the sound; it's more just the sight. But
well, the putter going kerplunk right in the water. It's like gone.
I'd say 1.
Your $400 Scotty Cameron that you thought was going to help you putt better, when really it's your grandpa's 1987 Odyssey White Hot that's probably better for you.
Yeah.
Not to say that I have experience doing that. I've never owned a Scotty Cameron, but I have thought about throwing my newer putter in the lake and just absolutely roasting it. Final one, not necessarily a sound, but more of a taste. Fresh hot dog at the turn.
By default, it's 5. I don't know, I don't know, dude. Like, I've had some hot dogs that have really fucked up my stomach. So, I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna eat a hot dog, it's gonna be at like a baseball game. So, I think honestly, wait, where did you get like these hypotheticals from?
Golf Digest.
I think they really missed the boat. Like on this one especially, they really missed the boat. Like, there's nothing better than when I hear a golfer hit a shot and it just absolutely nails a tree dead square, because the clank that it makes is I laugh every time when I hear that, like, because it's so loud and everybody hears it. The other one that they missed, forget the flush driver, because some drivers sound better than others. A flushed iron shot from the fairway.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, and then you get the ball just whizzing through the air. Like, that's way better. So they kind of put on that one.
Hold on though. So we mentioned this, I think, last week. Gordon Sargent's driver shot. Listen to this. That's his driver.
See, I don't know. I think maybe because I'm a pro, and I'm just honestly, like, I think because I'm a pro and I'm just used to doing that or hearing that, I think
that sounds nuts. All right, so Golf Digest, again, all these are from Golf Digest. They also posted this like a week ago, comparing golfers to NBA stars and using like 3 things that match them up. I want to see if you agree or disagree. We start off with Rory McIlroy and Kevin Durant. Natural, major winner, and outspoken. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. Also, 2 complete giant crybabies. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Jordan Spieth and Steph Curry. Human highlight reel. Major champion owns their own style. Mostly because they're the only guys who rock Under Armour, which kind of makes sense.
I mostly agree with that, although I believe that Steph Curry, with Jordan, you're kind of waiting for the ship to sink. You're waiting for something to happen. Like, you're always on the edge of your seat. It's like he's a much better golfer than Zach Wilson as a football player. But like you're just waiting for Zach Wilson to fuck up, like I was last night. And he did. But like you're almost waiting for Jordan to hit like one of those horrendously bad tee shots, like in crunch time. Like where with Steph Curry and it's crunch time, you just know he's gonna make it, you know, or like he's gonna do something. Like I understand like human highlight reels and like they know their strength. So for the most part, I agree with that. But I think that Jordan is a little bit more out of control than Steph, because I believe that Steph is a much more talented basketball player than Jordan is a golfer.
Okay, I hear you. I think this is one of the best ones. Victor Hovland and Jason Tatum, young stars looking for their first ring with incredibly high expectations set on themselves and the team that they represent. In this case, obviously Tatum and the C's.
I don't really agree with that one because I think the psychological makeup of them is completely different. Like Tatum can't really handle the pressure of being a superstar. Like he's literally said that he's like, I didn't even want to be a superstar. That's just like what you guys told me. Whereas I think Hovland really relishes it. And I personally believe Hovland has achieved more in his short career than Tatum has. You know, that's just what I believe. I know they're two completely different sports, but I think the psychological makeup is different between those two.
Brooks Koepka and Jimmy Butler. I totally disagree with this one. Strength, swag, and that killer instinct. I think instead of Jimmy Butler, this is a LeBron or Kobe kind of thing. Killer instinct. I think that's all over the Kobe train, but I don't think Kobe had the like off course swagger that I think Brooks Koepka kind of holds.
I see what they're saying here, but to be honest, Jimmy Butler's like not a baby, you know.
Yeah.
Brooks kind of is. Like Brooks can say like how mentally tough he is. He's really like a whiny brat. That's really what. And Jimmy's not like that, you know. Like I get it. Like yeah, Jimmy had his issues in Chicago, and then he had his issues in like Minnesota, and then you know he got into it with who was the 76ers coach? He got into it supposedly with the 76ers coach when he was there.
With Doc?
No. It wasn't Doc. It was the guy before Doc. They traded for him.
Wasn't forget who
Brett was his name.
was.
Brett.
No.
This is gonna bother me. Can you please look that up?
I am. But proceed.
I don't know. I think like I understand like
Brett Brown.
Yeah, okay, I kind of got it. But I don't know. I think Jimmy Butler as a whole is a much tougher competitor than Brooks is. Just because Brooks shines his brightest when the stars like are
out.
When the lights are on, when Brooks shows up. He's not. Jimmy's a much more consistently great competitor than Brooks is. Like you don't see Jimmy dogging it in the middle of the regular season, whereas Brooks kind of dogs it during the normal parts of the year.
All right, here we go. We have four more. Scotty and Nikola Jokic, most recent champions, unconventional footwork, which I think is hilarious to describe Scotty Scheffler's swing, and quote-unquote at the top of their game.
Yes. Actually, I do like that. I do.
Ricky Fowler, Russell Westbrook, unmatched style, grinders who burst onto the scene early and fell off. It's actually a really good comparative. Although Ricky's back and Russell Westbrook's just a insane freak.
Yeah, but the difference is the knock on Ricky was his work ethic, whereas no one's ever questioned Russell's work ethic. That's pretty solid. But as far as work ethic goes, I mean, Russell's an insane competitor, and
who tries almost too hard.
He tries too hard, yeah. And now he's screwed because the Clippers just brought in Harden. So like, forget that. Like he's screwed. I feel bad for him, honestly.
John Rahm, Joel Embiid, physical, fierce competitor, and emotional players. Very involved. I totally see it. John Rahm's got that like psycho gene when he, particularly the Ryder Cup.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah.
One of my favorite ones as just two guys who like put two guys in a room and you're like, oh, like what binds them? Long, athletic game changers, Giannis and Dustin Johnson. It's funny actually.
I mean, yeah, I guess like because they're both long and athletic, but like, and they're very explosive athletes for sure in their own respective sports. I think one's much more intelligent than the other. You know, like I think
soul patch for me. That's all it is.
What's that?
It's the soul patch. The second DJ Roth the soul patch, I think it just cycled downward.
Yeah. Wait, what was it? What?
The soul patch? That's a little.
Oh,
just a little piece.
Oh, whatever.
The full beer is way better.
I can see it, but as far as level of intelligence goes, I think Giannis is much more intelligent.
Dare I even say it? Tiger and Jordan, the GOATs. Pretty easy comparative. Actually, better question: who is more crucial to their game, Tiger or MJ? Like you look at like the greatest players of all time, you like Gretzky, Jordan, Tiger, Michael Phelps, the Williams sisters, or even or Roger Federer. If we're going like straight men's game, who was more vital to the success of their sport, MJ or Tiger?
1,000% Tiger. 1,000%. It's not even close. And to be honest, I believe Tiger is a better golfer than Michael was a basketball player. And the reason I say that is because Michael won 6 championships. Look, let me put it this way. Both had their own personal issues.
Yeah.
They have similar personalities. You know, they can be a little kind of volatile. I think that's safe to say. But Tiger is better at golf than Jordan is at basketball because Jordan won with one coach and Scottie Pippen. He couldn't win with anybody else, right? Like he was just talented before he got Phil Jackson, Scottie Pippen, right? So, and then he got the perfect co-star and then the perfect coach for him. Whereas Tiger, he won before Butch. He won the Masters before Butch. Then he won on the tear with Butch. Then he won with Hank Haney. And then he won with, I don't even know who his swing coach was in 2019. I don't even really think he had one when he won the Masters. Yeah. And he's also won with how many different caddies on the bag? Like
at least 7. Like a astounding number.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like Jordan had like a specific group that he had to have around him to win, whereas Tiger whatever the swing coach was, he made it work. Whatever the caddy dynamic was, he made it work. But I mean, golf was much less popular when Tiger came up than when Jordan came up for basketball, and so with Jordan and basketball. And so Tiger's the reason why, like, no one has moved the needle quite like Tiger has with golf, as far as what players are making, how people view golf, etc. Whereas Jordan, LeBron James came right after him, and LeBron has honestly, like, I can maybe some might say he carried the torch after Jordan, but at the same time, like, LeBron's an all-timer. We haven't had an all-timer after Tiger, and like Tiger took it from Jack kind of, and LeBron, I guess, kind of took it from Jordan. But I think from a popularity standpoint, for salary purposes, for marketability, Tiger's meant more to golf than Jordan has to basketball. I'm going to get killed for saying that. But that's
I think it's a relatively valid point, because also when you look at the game of basketball and those who came before Michael, those who came after him, like, I feel like everybody who got into golf around our age group, it was Tiger Woods. 100%. And if it wasn't Tiger Woods, it was like, oh, Tiger's really cool, but like also Phil's really cool. So like those were the guys.
100%.
And again, and like it's progressed on like that.
Well, 100%. And the other thing is, golf had much further to go than basketball did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Basketball was up here, and golf was like all the way down here. And now, like basketball's still up here. Golf is, in flux right now, right? So it's a little bit with the whole live thing, and no one really knows what's going to happen with the tour. And, regardless, though, Tiger's definitely meant more, for sure.
All right, here we go. Well, last thing here before we cut to our final break. Golf Digest ran a poll. Who is going to win more on tour between player A and player B? I'll give you the two players. Give me your thought, and give me your player, and I'll give you the answer based on the poll. What?
2024, right?
Yeah, 2024. Boop. Things that I don't take into account when I actually write things. I always think of the current year. Jon Rahm or Scotty Scheffler?
Oh God, that's a hard one. Oh man, because they're both so good.
They only get harder, honestly.
Jon Rahm or Scotty Scheffler? I'm gonna go Jon Rahm because I think Scotty. I think the past 2 years, both the past 2 years, has had more wins, I believe, than Rahm has. We'll go with Jon Rahm.
I think Rahm's got. Rahm has 6 wins. So Scotty's 4 over the last. Well, this year, at least. Yeah.
I don't know.
Rahm won 62-38. Rory or Hovland?
Hovland.
Hovland overwhelmingly 76-24. Max Homa or Colin Morikawa? Max actually just won in Africa this week.
But Colin didn't Colin also win?
I don't know if Colin won, but in Africa, Max Homa just won an event.
Wait, no. I thought Colin Morikawa won an event recently.
Might have.
Let me see. I thought he did.
I don't remember. All I know is that Max Homa finally broke the narrative that he can only win in California.
Oh, wait. I want to look this up before I answer. Yeah, he just won the Zozo.
Oh, you're right. I'm dumb.
We
were off that week. We were on a break.
We weren't on a break. You just couldn't do it. Anyway, I'm gonna go
Max Homa was also the leader there at 60-40. Xander Schauffele, Keegan Bradley.
Oh, Xander for sure.
Xander 75, Keegan 25. Finau or Ricky?
Finau.
Tony the Tiger 54-46.
Have I gotten? I've gotten it every single time.
You've gotten every one, so you are with the majority here. The Young Guns, Tom Kim or Sai Thagala? This one was tight.
Tom Kim,
59-41. Now for the tightest one. The best friends, JT or Jordan?
I can see both of them not winning at all.
Who will have more top 20s? That's the debate at this point. More top 10s? Least missed cuts. Let's talk about that one.
Shit. All right. Most likely to win more events.
So you go perfect.
Am I 6 for 6 right now?
You are.
Okay. I said just.
Ben, did I lose you? Oh, no. Oh, no. Did I lose Ben again? All right. Well, with that being said, I'm just going to jump right into the next.
Wait.
Well, there he is. I found him.
Okay, wait. So, what did I wait? So I said Justin Thomas. Did you catch that?
No, I did not. It's Jordan over JT, 51-49.
What? Are you kidding me, bro? Dude, I know he had a bad year this year, but
he had a very bad year.
What's that?
He had a very bad year.
I know, but dude, his high end the past 4 years has been a hell of a lot better than Jordan. I mean,
This could be a matter of literally Jordan needs to win one event, and if it's going to be an event, it'll be the Masters or the RBC Heritage. Those are his two events.
He's not winning.
All right, one more break. On the other side, beer money. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Dude, the Buffalo Bills fucking suck. They're complete frauds.
No way, really?
They're down 3-0, and Josh Allen's 5 of 7 and has already thrown a pick. I'm like, come on, what are you doing here? All right, keys to victory this week at the RSM. If you want the full episode, go back and check us out. Did a whole deep dive into this one. Keys to win: approach play, really important. Good drives gained. Bermuda grass this week. So, of course, the lightning fast Bermuda greens, particularly in the fall, are quite wild at Sea Island. Birdie opportunities, strokes gain on par fours. It's really the bread and butter. Pretty narrow fairways, but very gettable fairways. A long course, not anything too difficult, but will be a course, again, Tom Fazio designed, that people are going to want to be keeping an eye on. 7,000 yards in length, par 70 course. We start off with our beer money picks, and we dive right in to our top 20 play this week, brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer. Follow them, kenwoodbeer.com. Check out the Kenny Tracker, as they are now available in the great state of New Jersey for consumption. Ben, we lead off top 20 finish at the final event of the fall.
I'm going to go Camilo Villegas for a top 20. I mean, I think it's pretty hilarious that he's not even in the top 10 for odds this week. So I'm going to go Camilo Villegas top 20.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I'm going to start off with top 20. I'm going Steven Yeager. He's plus 210 right now. I like a lot of long shots in the field this week. He missed the mark. He missed the cut here in his last 3 starts. But overall, he has 4 top 20s in his last 9 starts. So I'm gonna continue the ride on that one, plus 210. Top 10, what do you got?
Boy, top 10. You know what? I'm going to go with the past champion, Kevin Kisner.
I dig. Top 10. I saw a tweet today. Somebody tweeted, is Brian Harman related to Butch Harmon? And the top comment was, well, one guy's name is spelled Harman, one spelled MON. With the hashtag read a book, I'm going to take Brian Harman for a top 10. The guy who's not related to Butch Harmon. The crazy part about Brian Harman, shout out to the world champion of golf. If you line up Brian Harman compared to Ludwig Aberg, Cameron Young as the top 2 guys in the field this week, the fact that Brian Harman is so far down on the totem pole when you compare some of these younger guys, and he's arguably the best lefty golfer in the sport right now. I love the fact that he has 4 career top 15s here. This is a home event. He lives out here. He's been hunting out here forever. Knows the land. I like Brian Harman for a top 10. Top 5.
Oh, man, it's getting hard.
You're doing great, sweetie.
You're such a dick.
I know I am.
Well, you knew how to use it.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going to go Ludwig Oberg.
Hell.
What?
Only you knew how to use it. Babe. Oh, she's in a review class right now. I was going to ask her, how good am I in bed? Top 5, I'm going Corey Connors. Jason Sobel said it on his podcast on the Action Network this week. He's expecting a really big year out of Corey Connors. Not to say he's going to win a major or anything, but his trending numbers have all trended towards top 20 golfer in the world over the past 2 years. I think this is also going to be a really big year for Corey Conners. It's going to start here at not a home event, considering he lives down in Texas, but he loves the Southern Belt. He loves the area where golf is now primarily going to be played for a lot of the year. I think the RSM is a really good spot. He's finished between 10th and 37th in all 4 previous starts at the RSM. A strong start here and a putting contest is going to get Corey Conners to the winner's circle. You don't need to putt your way to victory, but you can certainly ball strike it. This is a Corey Conners event for me. Your gimme pick this week.
My gimme pick this week. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. I'm going to go Zach Johnson, finishes top 40.
By the way, I want to give you a lot of credit. Both of us smashed our gimmies. You, of course, had Villegas. I had Mark Hubbard. Both finished in their respective spots. We actually had a really strong week on Beer Money this past week, so I'm very, very, very happy for our results. My gimme this week, I'm going to go for a top 20. He's plus 210. I like Matt Kuchar. We don't talk a lot about the olden guys on tour, but considering he had a top 3 finish at the Worldwide Technologies in Cabo, seems to tell me that he actually is playing quite well. And if it wasn't for a hooked ball into the water on the final hole, that he would have possibly even won the event. I think that Kuchar is going to be a solid play here. I'll take him for a top 20 this week. Who is your winner at the RSM?
Ryan Harmon. It's my winner.
Brian Harmon. My winner this week, I'm going to go complete off the top of the board. I know I've been saying I was going to take Ludwig every week until he wins. There's one guy who stands out to me this week and has actually really good numbers across the board in every single major statistical category. Let me just tell you the kind of guys who have won here in the past. Adam Svensson, Taylor Gooch, Robert Streb, Tyler Duncan, Charles Howell, Mackenzie Hughes, Kevin Kisner, Austin Cook. There's one guy in the field who isn't named any of them, who actually kind of fits the mold of every single stat here. I'm going to go JT Poston to win the RSM this week. Really, really strong odds. I think he's like plus. I think he's 35 to 1. I'm just feeling it. His strokes gained for his iron play has been really good. And again, ball strike your way to a victory here. Not a long course, but a straight course. He hits him straight. I like him there for a win at the RSM to finish out the fall leg. Final thoughts for you at the road.
I can't believe that they have Camilo Villegas so far down, like on the odds board. Like, did you see that?
Yeah, it's kind of whack.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like, even you're like kind of speechless. I was like, wow, like, this is like crazy.
Yeah, no, like I understand the idea of having like guys like Ludwig, Cameron Young, Harmon, Henley, Connors, like these are top players in the world, but coming off of a win in particular,
yeah, a second and then a win.
Yeah, exactly. To put him on a scale comparative to he's 55 to 1, like Cheston Hadley. Harris English hasn't played golf in 6 months.
Yeah.
And he's right there. Cameron Champ is at risk of losing his tour card. Actually, you know what? The odds in general are all kind of crazy. Because like Taylor Montgomery is super low on the board. Ben Griffin, who has a win this year, is low on the board. Mark Hubbard had a top 20 this week. He's low on the board. Like, there are guys who I don't understand why they are ranked where they are. So I think Villegas is a fine play for you.
I believe so too.
I have no additional thoughts. Thank you for joining us, boys and girls. We'll try and do better next time in the words of Tony Kornheiser. Subscribe, like, follow on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course the YouTube. Keep us getting there. We still have a goal here, guys. 100 subscribers on YouTube starting last week. We're giving away a putter. So keep that on. Keep on going. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the golf. And of course, thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at Underground PHI. We'll see you next time. And remember, get in the hole!